Hello, everybody. I am Jika. I'm joined by Temporal, and today we are bringing you a very not. Data client did not like us very much, so we had to call the stream early. But we are bringing you those games today before today's game. You're getting WKL today. How great is that? How are you doing, Tom?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All being well, it's probably Monday afternoon for you right now. So let's do a bit of a run back and let's cover all four games from last Thursday that were impacted by those spectator delays.
And of course, that does mean we are starting with Lions Creed Academy versus Paragon, the only game that we really saw anything from on Thursday. We got about 15 minutes into the game before the spectator client decided it didn't like us anymore. But the last part of that game before it ended, from what I've heard, pretty banger. But we'll bring it straight back.
Spoilers.
Bring it straight back from the start. I believe we have the game ready and waiting to go. So are you ready to jump into the game one?
I'm so ready. I'm so ready. Yes, definitely quite awake. Monday afternoon, I hope you're awake at home. That would be quite the conundrum.
Yeah, one would hope as we get onto the Rift for game number one of today's rebroadcast of Thursday's games.
You know, you pop the VHS tape in, you've rewound it. Time to hit play once more. Lions Creed coming through Cabbage Core, Cabbage family lineage. Not a huge surprise to see something like Vagar Nocturne. And Gregors and Heathen on something that has been pretty strong on this patch. 14.2 definitely favored Seraphine fantastically. I believe it's the highest win rate bot lane. Just
that tracks.
Over some statistics here at the weekend.
And as we look to get into the start of this game, astute viewers from Thursday will remember that the early game is pretty explosive. I don't think that's a secret. I don't remember what happens, and I was casting the blooming game. So
I had one eye on this and one eye on the washing up, so this is going to be a surprise for me. Definitely been erased from my memory. And just looking to the top side, a matchup I'm pretty experienced with, the Aurelia versus Gnar, both sides. Pretty difficult setup in a competitive game for both these champions. If the Gnar tries to push his envelope while he's little, the Aurelia will eat him for breakfast. If the Aurelia mistimes her aggression, mistimes her ability to play on the wave, Mega Gnar does absolutely crush her, which can be something of a challenge. Interesting to see Porpoise starting on the Wolves. Do you wonder if he's going to do the Grub clear, I think it's been dubbed, where you essentially skip and do 3 little camps and do 2 buffs and wrap it back around. Looks like Paul won't be going for that and will be spotted out by this ward just a few minutes in.
So with the information on Porp, what can Paragon do to try and control this? Only time will tell. The poke going down in the bot lane, as would be expected in a Senna lane. In the mid lane, just going to be a bit of a farm first. So, Tom, tell me, what are we expecting to see in the first? Maybe not, as last going very aggressive onto Gregors. Shot is blocked by Heathen, very, very low. The heal comes out. Safe for now, that is Ghost, heal and flash on Gregors. A lot of health traded away. Looking towards top lane.
No, this is a bit sad. This will have been spotted away by that ward. Looking for up on the exit, still refresh.
Doesn't seem to matter. The Gnar goes in, the stun goes down, the flash comes in, and Porp secures first blood. The Lions Creed Academy. The ward was there, refresh.
Yeah, I don't know what they expected. Not seeing the Nocturne move away. Bit unusual, the Aurelia falling down early, very, very difficult now to come back on. I think even if SnapX comes up, there's not a lot to do on this top side. Attacking QQR at this stage very difficult. At least for Paragon, we saw Lasp and Team it over in the bottom lane. Generate a huge advantage of getting that level 2 first. Continue to extend it. Senna Seraphine don't really want to do a lot of all-inning till they've got that level 6 through, till Seraphine can contribute a little bit more. We'll see if they manage to hold on. Gold still just in Lions Creed's favor on that first blood.
Looks like Porp looking towards this bot side here. Meanwhile, SnapX opting to go top side.
I think the slowest Nocturne full clear since I played the champion a long time ago. A little bit of a wraparound here from Paul, but very active on this Nocturne. Very risky.
Looking bot, but there's a fight in the top side as well as Bust will flash the wall and survive. Meanwhile, bot side, Timitop going very, very low. Porp taking a tower shot. There goes. One more shot will do it. As Last will pick up a return and the first kill on the board for Paragon this game. It looked so good, but a couple of unfortunate tower shots. Bust his life in the top lane. Oh, come on now. Can't take a tower for that long.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea of the dive. I think definitely an overextension out from Paragon, trying to force the issue. This is a Nocturne who's having to go back and do respawning camps before he's done his own red buff. I think the race to level 6 that sort of defines both of these junglers' early moves. Left a little bit now. Porp, this is sinning.
Going straight back towards this top side. Doesn't look like there's going to be anything to come of it though. Refresh. Think something wrong. He's starting to refresh story a little bit.
Wait, pretty for earlier in this man.
We'll have to see if any Russian happens in this bot lane. Of course, Aphelios, Melio, very, very strong at just taking small skirmished fights. Snapex opting to go for this early dragon. It is a Hextech dragon, which I think is probably one of the better early dragons to go for.
Yeah, I think if you're going to concede that, hey, we think Lionsgate are going to play for the grubs, I think the objectives is completely fine here. We haven't seen a lot of the Kev in competitive, and when we have, I've been a bit mixed on the attention they've been given. Same for Rift Herald, really. You know, there's been a lot of, we got to get up here and we got to do this. But that's Paul, even though you get a decent chunk of experience for Little Void Grub friends, not sure it's worth his red buff still being up when it should be nearly respawned. I think this Nocturne's going to have to do a lot to stay in this game.
Definitely. Meanwhile, Eden and QQR trading in the mid lane. And it is worth mentioning, Gregor's moved up, got 6 souls from that, plus whatever the Void Mites gave her. So, not a bad rotation coming out of Gregor's there.
Athel does secure them that objective, and it means the pressure's off for the second Void Grubs. You know, if there is sort of a disadvantageous situation beforehand, going 3 and 3 is completely fine. Your opponent won't get 5th and 6th through, which really adds a lot to that objective. Getting those miniature, almost like having Bel'Veth on your team from nowhere at our best point. It's really strong to have miniature Void Grubs come through. It won't be possible for Paragon this game.
And if you do have a Bel'Veth on your team, it's doubly as such.
Hey, I haven't seen Bel'Veth this season.
I've seen her a couple of times. She's a bit of a champion, but looks like looking to play something in this bot lane. Swiftly moving away from Bel'Veth, who is one-shotting me in every game I play.
Gregors and Paul still doing this 2x2 goons.
Has equal horror on, but the flash from Timitop is good. We'll go to safety, and it looks like the collapse is happening. Eden and Snapex here as well. Porp has stepped up a little bit too far. Slow comes in. There is Eden. Porp heal will come through, but it's not quite enough. But Eden will secure their first kill of the game on the board now. 2-1, Paragon.
Paragon have seemed a little bit more organized in what they're doing so far, even in trading objectives. As Kindred was faster on the mark. I think Porp is struggling a little after a tumultuous early game. That's not what the Nocturne wants. He wants calm, controlled.
Eden under the tower. QQR going very, very low. The flash comes forward. QQR should just be dead. This is not quite enough range. Was it in the bush?
Sure. I did think it was a slight overextension to go for QQR on the wave. Flash is traded. Eden probably be okay with this. He's going quite deep.
Bonk.
No.
That's criminal.
Why would you reveal yourself? I'm at a complete loss.
Okay. There's no way.
Still level 5. Eden.
Flash from Porp is good. The Unspeakable Horror will land. The flea coming through. Eden now has the Shifting Sands and will be safe as a Daisy.
A Daisy's safe? That's a new one for me. All the same.
That was the first one. Yeah.
Unbothered in the wind, the Emperor of Shurima. Just a gentle flower. Planted in his sand, not moving anywhere, outside of his comfort zone, clearly. Eden, a great game so far. Laps red and white, going for a little bit of trade damage. This shouldn't be too consequential. We look over the map, Arazir is going to be really happy coming out 2-0. Components on the Nash is now much stronger, in my opinion. This season that wasn't really a preseason.
What?
Great Gregors.
Okay, Last quite low. The Ghost comes in. There's the Breath of Life as well. Last is fine. It is a 2v2 kill in the bot lane for Last.
I don't know how Lion's Creed managed to get picked off their Snepix. Getting a little bit further out on the map. Looking to engage. I think when this Mega Gnar is up, you really want to play for a long time. Porp nearby as well with the Paranoia freshly set up. It's a very risky 2v2. If I was Paragon, I'd be waiting this Gnar out.
Looks like that was the plan. Didn't quite get anywhere. Now, did second set of grubs go down? Or have they not respawned yet?
They have not quite respawned. Not quite.
Okay, there they are.
There they are.
Just back up now. It looks like Lions Creed Academy immediately on that draw. Snapex looking robust.
Mininar under attack. Eden's coming in here as well. Gregors is up. Numbers advantage slightly in Lions Creed's favor.
3v4, Snapex jumps forward. There comes the root down. There is the Paranoia. Launcher Spike has been dropped. Gregor's going oh so low, but it is still a 4 versus 4. Now as the shuffle comes in, QQR will fall. Snapex out to safety. Bust running for their life, and now it's Eden and Timatop are on one side. Bust will get pushed on Snapex, and Snapex will fall as Bust trades 1-for-1 in this fight. Maybe get out with their life. White Thief will shuffle over the wall. Third kill on the game. It's the 2-for-2 ult.
Paragon maintain control over the last Kevin. I think they managed to get one in there as well. So potentially deny the buff. Last getting 2 plates in the bot side. Not going to be unhappy at all. I think that's technically a Paragon win on them spending a little more time farming. Lions Creed on a play they started on, an objective they get to first. Not quite meeting the mark. Not really sure what came together there. I think being without the Heathen, maybe not having level 6 on Gregors, just not enough power comparatively to Paragon, because the composition hasn't really taken off. There's not a big difference at this stage. I think in the execution, the moment to moment, a little lost.
Ethan has been caught and will go down to refresh. A beautiful catch on the side. Yeah, I think while Lions Creed are looking to play their hand, they don't really have a great couple of carries for it, right? You're looking at Vigar and Senna, who are very, very heavy scaling aspects. So going for these early objectives is fine. You need the Gnar and the Seraphine really anywhere close by to do anything.
Yeah, or a Nocturne over the top to sort of make the difference. It's not quite come together just yet.
Not quite. Seems things have slowed down just a little bit for now. We were on, I believe that's 4 marks on the Kindred now.
Up behind Bust, he's little, he's small, he's vulnerable.
Bust has no jump, so there is the slow. And health damage doesn't do a huge amount though. Bust shockingly tanky with those plated seal.
Yeah. A bit of a
There
shame.
comes
Eden
the
had come up.
ult onto Timatop, where the flash is out again. Charm lands, but it's not quite enough. Stunned up, and there's the Dawning Shadow. Going oh solo, but buying so much time, will eventually fall in the end, but that's so many resources wasted just to kill the support.
It's not fantastic. There isn't an objective up immediately, so not the end of the world for Lions Creed. They invest so much into a kill. There's slight hesitation from Teemo, I feel, on it blowing his ultimate. Just causes him to fall. In the meantime, not a lot to do for Paragon. We're just going to continue to cycle through the map. Maybe they'll arrive at the bot lane in about 30 seconds.
Well, Ethan still up in this lane on his own, playing relatively aggressively as Gregors makes their way back. What's the plan looking like for both of these teams for the next 5 minutes, Temporal? What do we think we want to see?
Orb's jungle clear is completely in shambles. His camps are respawning in crazy places. He does, however, have, I believe, the experimental Hexblade, an item which I've called Ravenous Hydra, I think 3 times now, which isn't true. And that means when Paranoia is cast, we're going to get a load of move speed and attack speed on Porp, which is great. The style of Nocturne, just to show up and explode someone. But yeah, I think Snapex very much enjoying his CS lead in the jungle. It's going to be really strong. His items nearly finished. I think getting that in before the next dragon would be pretty hard for Lionscreed to deal with when you're diving forwards onto Lamb's Respite. Really hard. You actually take a target down singular when everyone's grouped. Orb is up here. Paranoia is not quite ready, so Refresh should be able to walk this one off. Red ping's down. I think he just showed on Fire there.
Safety for now was last. 1v2 in this bot lane trying to defend the tower. Not going to take any meaningful damage just now, but the tower may fall before long. The pressure of Ascendant Seraphine really starts to grate on the Lunari's health a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're definitely getting there. Seraphine very, very strong at the moment. We're waiting for a team fight to line her ult up and be that big carry, but stabilized in lane for sure. One item, just able to push forwards.
There comes the encore. There's Patch on to last. It's a lot of damage, but the cleanse from the Melio will keep them safe for now. Meanwhile, all of Paragon just collapsing on this Herald. First tower will be traded, but ultimately I think the value you can get from the Herald might just outweigh.
Yeah, just a little bit more at this stage. Impressive to see the Heathen just playing sort of the smooth, calm, curved performance where struggled a little earlier on. I think Last Bit is going to get away with this. Paranoia cast there would be a bit crazy, but onto mid.
Mid, and oh no, the Emperor's Divide gets blocked, and the shutdown on Eden goes to Port. Beautiful decision making from Port there to notice that they can't get on top of Last, but can turn a 180, jump straight to Midland, and now Snapx has jumped the wall. Port flash forward to try and get it. The stun comes down from QQR. There's the Lamb's Respite. We'll have to see. Heathen is here now as well. Snapx all on their lonesome. The flash is there. Gregors kill that kill for themselves.
I've been so critical of Porp so far this game, but the Nocturne was picked to show up at that clutch moment, convert some damage just like that onto Eden. And in the extended play, Snapx falls. I'd love to see Lionscreed get onto the dragon here, but they are dragging their heels slightly.
They get there, the quicker they can do it before this Kindred respawns. Looks like they have started it up now. And last and Timitopper, not really much you can contest. This will put them 2 Drakes for 1 on the Ocean Rift with about 3.5 minutes until this Nashor.
Paragon being quite conservative in holding on to refresh his teleport there. I think the top tier 1 tower not very valuable right now, and a surprise play at Dragon.
A lot of tower damage, and it's just popped by the Primordial Burst. Caught in the baby cage underneath the tower. That felt very greedy, friend.
Unawares, I think, Eden, that the stun was going to last that long, just like me. What? I don't know how that ends up being lethal, but never mind, here we are.
Such is the way. Seraph's just a bit too strong. Snapx caught out by a root, but nothing will come of it for now. Timitopper there to escort them to the safety of their own jungle.
That is, I'm absolutely shocked Eden clipped the wall there. That's a little unfortunate. Teleport back into middle, allowing him to keep farming.
We'll get the shuffle onto Heathen under the tower. The Seraphs will pop when the flash comes in. Snapx is there to finish off the kill. It's a bit of a consolation prize, but can anything back at the Herald gets robbed.
Farming champions instead of anything else makes sense. Herald charge through comes in.
Manages to land on. Oh, but gets caught by the Vigar cage. Able to dodge away from most of the skill shots for now.
Yeah, I jump back a little chaotic. Wouldn't be surprised to see Eden try and go forwards here. Is without shuffle.
Oh, Last going very, very low. There's the Dawning Shadow, not quite enough damage. Breath of Life will save the AD carry. Now refreshed, TPing in. There's the ultimate. And now we wait to see health bars go oh so low. Lionscreed Academy doing fine. Snapx going forwards and just getting one shot with no Lamb's Respite. The bravery with Paranoia up. Okay, now Eden charmed up by Ethan. The group comes down onto the fresh Dragon. Play aggressive, but everybody else is out there. Health bars blinking lights. Plus, it's a good top power as well.
Yeah, very much a struggle. Refresh pulling the teleport there means it is now down for the Baron for this Ocean Dragon. Bust maintains it, gets a tower of his own. A huge economic win for Lion's Creed. And I'm just a little bit confused. You know, Paragon, thinking about how this game was going to go, you get lost in the front line versus Senna Seraphine. It's difficult to try and actually play through those two if you don't have a concrete plan, a flank. I was expecting that Rift Herald to try and like flip some people as well, try and get that knock-up it does convey through. Try and make the fight after a little easy. Instead, Snepex stunned up, caught out. It's a beginning of a sort of difficult fight for Paragon that they can't actually play through. A gold lead now over to Lion's Creed. And looking across the map, not a lot to do till this Baron comes up in 30 seconds. At least Paragon have got the mid-wave push, but a difficult situation for them now.
Have to take this step by step. We saw it in Lion's Creed's last game. Once they had this lead, it ballooned out of control, and Paragon, again, much like their last game, they had a very, very good early game against Nuclear Vikings and just could not keep their lead going. See if history will repeat itself towards the end of this game.
It's crazy to me that I'm saying an Azir with one item and a Aphelios at this stage in the game with Kraken Slayer and a BF Sword is struggling, but they just can't get through this front line. And it's getting Refresh, Snepex, and Eden sort of stuck in limbo. Very bizarre to see.
Ethan looking onto Eden. Looks like the Nashor is in the sights of the Lions. As Paragon really not able to walk into their own jungle. The Baron Pit, something of a paradox to them at this point. They could be there, they could not, nobody knows.
This Schrodinger's Baron. Which one of the three is it?
Yeah.
We don't know because we've not been, but we might be in the pit.
Yeah. It is.
Oh.
Hunting
I
Baron,
don't actually know all their names yet. I'm just calling that one Three-Headed Baron. I don't think they've made as much of a difference as I thought they would. Is that one Hunter? No,
I think it's the Hunting Baron. Yeah, they don't make a massive difference, but it is nice to have that little bit of variety.
Yeah, I feel like now I can judge my teammates for getting hit by, like, you know, 1 of 3 attacks instead of one attack that Baron has. Both teams now coming down for this Ocean Dragon. So we'll put Lion's Creed at soul point, so pressure on to the next one isn't essential.
Mid push, very, very good from Lion's Creed. Paragon just not able to walk in for this vision. Eden will be spotted out by that Farsight ward. They are just going to give it over. Not feeling quite strong enough in their current position. Only really 1 item on all of the main carries by the Aurelia, sitting on 2. Don't put
Good not to concede over sort of like actualized gold with like kills and takedowns from Paragon trying to run in there. I'm a little worried that they were still like only farming 1 lane. Refresh has taken all this time to walk back up to this tower. I think Bust should just be able to make this back if he commits the hop. Yeah, not a lot gained in trade there. Big cross map out of Paragon. So that 2,000 gold still sticks. Bust, buddy, no, it's a trap.
Going very, very far up. Playing with the Mega.
Hey, let him go.
They're teasing. Don't want to fight a Mega Gnar next to a wall.
Oh my.
Now Refresh is gone.
Paragon,
play the window.
Not quite patient enough. I think they could have stuck that. Oh,
They ultimately, Paragon opting not to. How did Paragon re-secure their lead in this game?
I feel like that trap onto Bust would have been a great move. Great move. You might have even got his teleport out if you commit to tier 1 and push in bot lane as well. Paragon wants sort of this. Oh, Paranoia.
Onto Refresh. The ult goes wide from the Aurelia Vanguard's edge, not landing on anybody. Gregors will shut down Refresh. 3rd kill of the game for this Senna. Starting to become a real monster. That could just be the Baron on the cards for Lion's Creed Academy.
You can definitely look towards it. Epic's off at Narnia right now. Just the enemy red buff. Gonna get a stack through. 5 so far, so it does have that upgrade. Last a little bit on his own here. Should be very careful approaching. Porp has flash as well. Heathen not quite
What?
respecting. QQR gets the takedown in return. Paragon dropping another member with Baron on the cards. Heathen not essential for the take. No Leandries, no sort of big contribution to that objective. But instead, looks like Lions Creed are going to cool off, back out. I don't minded seeing them take control there. Paragon still have vision in the river and the pit. They can be confident knowing they can take a few extra seconds to take a recall here.
It definitely affords them that little bit of time. As it looks like Paragon...
Paragon got river control. Lions Creed. Where are we going, friends?
Not a lot of vision down from either team so far.
Yeah. Cheeky ward at the back of the Baron pit is doing wonders for Paragon's sanity right now. They don't have to be like, oh, when's the take coming through? Has it been enough time since they've recalled? Instead, they can just see. They've taken their time. It's like an extra minute out there. I'd have really liked Lions Creed to apply some more pressure.
Just playing the dance a little bit longer. 25 minutes into the game. Still, no Baron's gone down. One soul, or one dragon away from soul, sorry, for Lions Creed Academy. Last doing what he can to play this mid-wave out. Not the best guns for the wave clear. As there goes Eden and catches only onto the Heathen. The Encore goes wide, but QQR will trade in return. The 1-for-1 so far, but the stunner has landed. And Snefex is going solo. The flash from QQR and Porp. QQR to now Porp is next on the list to die last on a killing spree. And now it is a 3 versus 4 and QQR on the side. Right, us together. The stun will land onto Refresh. Disincentivizing any kind of chase, but the Baron is now on the table for Lions Creed Academy. No jungler for Paragon, sorry. No jungler on the side of Lions Creed Academy.
Fantastic work to pick out the Seraphine then. The Senna Seraphine has been the death of Paragon in these slow fights. It has prevented the Aurelia coming forwards, with Eden trading himself for fantastic position. Now on Lions Creed to try and find a way back in.
Asp will get caught by the Vigar, and QQR blows him up! As Refresh is dead, well, it's a double kill for QQR. Snefex going solo at the back. Baron will execute the Baron, and thanks for the leash, guys. We'll take it from here.
It's just some friendly cooperation. Don't know what you're talking about. Paragon overextending. I'd have probably gone for that Baron as well, but unable to peel off correctly. The Heathen respawned, recharged, re-energized, brings Lions Creed into the pit for a contest we weren't quite expecting. And now back out on the map, 5 members with Baron to be able to take down this mid tier 2. Porp into the base.
Right onto the back line. Will manage to kill Porp, but a bit too deep. Maybe not. The heal comes in. Porp will take the power shot and Eden will get the kill. Little bit too deep, friend. The Azir has the shifting stance and there's no jungler. There's the attempt to shuffle, but it misses, and now it's a double stun, and it's a double kill for QQR as they both explode in the face of Lions Creed. It is a 4 versus 3. The dragon is up, the base can be cracked. Lions Creed, the ball is in your court.
QQR with the cheeky hold over the wall refresh here, a little bit outnumbered. Gonna have to get out of here, I think. No hope.
Stun misses, and now Refresh just looking for something, anything. Got caught in the lion's den and will suffer the bite from Bust.
Absolutely crazy attempt there to try and find something. You can sort of feel it at this stage, the desperation creeping into Paragon. Losing that Baron felt pretty awful. Trying to stop the Ocean Soul going over in the immediate seconds after. Maybe worth it. Refresh wouldn't be doing a lot, but pushing top out in these next 30 seconds. You can kind of see why. But Paragon need to come together. That we've seen 1 or 2 fights from Lasp so far. He's having a decent game. They need to actually convert. They need to move through Lions Creed. Where it seems for now, Porp diving always happens first. QQR with these setups looks so stable.
Definitely allowing them a lot of room to play their games. We saw in their game number 1, Bust and Porp syncing up plays in the side lanes. This game, we're seeing QQR and the rest of the team link up, playing around this CC. Lions Creed know how to play their game. They know that they can play their game well.
Take a moment. They seed this tier 3 tower. Veigar Cage getting in so much work. And 2 members of Paragon up from the bot lane. If we are going to see it. Going to see that inhibitor defense, the all-in.
FX jumping forward, the rest of the team leaving though. Gregor's moving aggressively, looking for something, anything. Bot lane tower starts to fall. There's an Ocean Soul and a Baron Nashor to contend with. Paragon, they don't have much to their name. FX still jumping forward very, very aggressively, not afraid of paranoia that could come out at any given second. That fight doing so much work for them.
Holding on. Resisting the threat.
Last caught in the Veigar Cage and half health is gone already. As now the shuffle comes in onto 2. Heathen has to flash away. Fort now on backline. Last will die. That is 1 dead already. It's 2 as well as refresh 4. Thantos fight is down. It will save Forks. Live Snefex has to flash and it will fall as well. It is a 3-0 for Lions Creed Academy on the doors of Paragon's face.
The Ocean Soul does so much work in the initial trade. Half the health going missing from Paragon's carry. It's a little too much to overcome as anything they try and convert, anything they try and do falls away.
Just upper left in the shattered tatters of the base. It is an ace for the Lions. 1 tower is all that stands for them. Coming to 2-0 after their first week. Cabbage Crew 8 Lions Creed to a 2-0.
I like Lions Cabbage Academy. I don't know why. That's that C's doing a lot of heavy lifting. And you know, I think we both remembered a bit of a tumultuous, a bit of a happening early game, which is definitely what we saw. I don't remember it. Or rather, I wouldn't have expected it. I don't know how I'd remember it. And I didn't watch the replay. To get quite so brutal around those final objectives. Paragon, I think a little bit to go away and do on the whiteboard. There's some macro mistakes that could have come over. And some extra things to play for. I'm not worried. Didn't look too awful for the Paragon boys. Eden with some nice shuffles held it together. This was definitely Lions Creed's game. Could have been more of a crush, I think, if they got Porp where he wanted to be. But what's the UKEL? What's the Four Nations tournament without a little chaotic jungle pathing?
We love a little chaotic jungle pathing. So that was game 1 for today, folks. Don't go anywhere. After long, we'll be back with Venom Crest versus Verzik.
Yeah, we just need to take the tape cassette out, put the other one in. That's the high technology we're using over here.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here, ready for game number 2 of today's rerun games, Venom Crest versus Verzik. Now, if you guys remember back to Monday, back to our day 1, Venom Crest, bit of a stomper of a game against Belfast Storm. Pretty quick, pretty dominant. The Serpents really coming back with their bite this split. Verzik, on the other hand, made some changes. We can't make the Lars memes anymore. I think that's possibly the biggest loss of this split. Lars on the sub bench for Verzik this split. But they are coming in with a name that is familiar to some of you in Shida. We saw that early game, it wasn't too bad against Ruddy. However, it's Ruddy. That game flipped on its head very, very quickly. So we've got a battle this game. Will Venom Crest keep their dominant streak going? Or can Verzik really start to show a couple more signs of life than against Ruddy? What do we think?
I think I owe Venom Crest an apology for my predictions and comments on the desk on Monday. The draft, I feel like if it was in a vacuum, maybe slightly in a vacuum, because I wasn't sure outside of top lane how Verzik were going to do. So I was like, I'll benefit the doubt. Let's call it 50-50, because I haven't seen many of these players before. That was a mistake. It was a deep mistake. Well, no, I won't make again. So Fast Legs, you still my goat. And Kenji is not an unknown quantity in this top side, so I am expecting Venom Crest dominance. I think it's on Verzik to try and prove different to me. I think some of their moments of brilliance were definitely Ruddy flipping it away on Monday, so or last Monday rather. So we'll have to see. They're able to generate something a bit more of their own this time and progress their own game state of their own volition at their own high points, rather than Ruddy trying to just ignore some moments of weakness and getting punished for it.
Absolutely. Well, we shall see. We got about 2 minutes into this game on Thursday before we had issues again. So we'll see if anything interesting happens after those 2 minutes as we get onto the Rift for game number 2. Venom Crest Serpents versus Verzik Esports. Starting now.
Alright, quick run down the drafts. I think, as you remember saying, I didn't catch much of the draft, but we do have a Yone topside. Is pretty decent up into the K'Sante if memory serves. New Blade of the Rune King should help a little bit more to punch through. K'Sante's ridiculously large health bar. Fan of taking the Lee Sin with the Akali. Prevents sort of that counter pick coming through. That mid 2v2 being a little twisted away from the Akali. But otherwise, pretty fun draft top to bottom. Varus and Ezreal should prove for a little bit of an explosive lane. Traditionally Varus favored, but on 14.2, oh my. Maybe
Ezreal buffs. Ezreal buffs definitely hitting hard. But I think the focus for me this game is going to be this mid-jungle 2v2. Bartholdi, a massive point, strong point for Venom Crest in the last split up with Galul. Now with Roskilde, what seems to be a bit more of facilitative style. We'll have to see just how that goes. But on the other side, Tycool and Strangler, two relatively unknown names to myself. Ali Lee Sin, the onus of execution, definitely on Verzik this game.
Alright. Well, look at the way we're starting off. Not most common for Vi to start at Raptors. We'll have to see what the plan is for Bartholdi from there. Red Ward should see him moving out. No pings down, but you will assume he was spotted. Just towards his red buff. So a bit of an extended clear for the Vi. Might be looking for something cheeky in the bot side at level 3. A later arrival at mid. Tycool going a little bit low. Skill just pushing up in the lane, being a bit of a menace.
As is any ranged versus melee matchup, especially for Akali pre-level 3, pre that Shroud.
Alright. They're just trying to contest some position on the wave. With Kenji's lane for now. I think there's many places where the Yone pulls away against the effectiveness of the K'Sante. I'm enjoying BB Muffin summoner name here, Bulbasaur. Best Pokemon, best starter, Chica. Oh, it's fast like God, like Oh,
Yeah,
good
that's
morning.
fast legs.
Good evening. For him. It is a little bit early on the weekend right now for us. We're doing some time traveling. Yes.
We are
Fast
coming to you
legged,
from
best
the
summon. There we
past.
go.
It's like Bartholdi looking for something a little bit aggressive on Strangler here.
Well, fast
Fast
leg
leg.
up as well. Does have to make a move. They are in the blind right now. They're looking for the Lee Sin.
Looking onto Freebie. Bartholdi gets through without being spotted, I believe.
Yeah, Strangler holding up against the wall as well. Verzik's jungle is still unknown. Bartholdi's going to drag the blue buff out. Will spot everyone now.
Okay, and Ball moving here. Bartholdi will settle for the crab here. Strangler just going blue buff. Fast legged in the wing, so Dokai can't play to interrupt too much. Bartholdi's entire top side still up and available, looking to go aggressive into the jungle again here. Onto Strangler. You will land.
Oh, got it!
And it'll get smited away.
Very rare, I think, on this patch to see a Lee Sin contested so early in his jungle. Tycho takes a bunch of damage in mid. Roskilde shouldn't be able to convert just now. That's crazy. That's double crab and a clear with it respawning back down. So Bartholdi will have a later respawn. So that the Raptors and the Gromp, when they Krugs rather, will respawn a little later. He could do a double full clear into Dragon, or he could continue to contest Strangler. One or the other.
We'll get a little bit of vision down for now. That entire top side still yet to be cleared, but is on the way there now. Roskilde looking to get a recall off. Very little mana, so an invade here would be a little bit dangerous.
Dangerous indeed. It's a bit of a moment now. The Vi has so much to do. I think a ward would allow a little bit more safety. And Strangler would be able to go a bit further. These grubs, they're not going to be contested here from Verzik. Venomcrest bringing their support up. It just means Venomcrest will be able to smoothly now clear through the jungle. Should have Bartholdi pretty much level 5 at the end of it. Able to push onto this dragon with the strength of just your experience alone. You don't even need to go and buy if you're on this path, or can reset and just run down there straight away. Depends if you think the Lee Sin's going to try and force the issue before you would arrive. Venomcrest not going to leave that option open.
Making a direct beeline here. Is Strangler still on this bot side, getting that second path there clear done. Beautiful pressure from Kenji and a beautiful roam from Fastleg. Does secure those grubs very, very early. Just as they spawn, in fact.
I've seen so many different paths so far in this patch that like try and aim to get you into the Void Grubs, into Kevin, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Or Ed, and Eddie, as I've heard them called. On the 5-minute spawn mark. We can see Venomcrest with some advanced planning getting in there.
Good.
Bunch of damage onto Fastleg. Strangler has snuck in there, very sneaky.
Flash from Bartholdi onto Dokai. Dokai going very low, will die, and now Strangler is next on the list. A freebie is free firing. Bartholdi will fall. Now it's Fastlegged and a freebie versus Soren J. And Strangler and Soren J will take a freebie. Fastleg next on the list. Another jump forwards from Soren J. But Fastleg not fainting just yet.
Holding on, he resists with his endurance belt. My, what a quick reversal. I'm not sure how Strangler got to level 5 so quickly. I think he just tipped over the edge. Not sure if it was the last camp before he walked down or off a minion falling. I think it was on the camp. It's just left Venomcrest in a bit of a weird spot where they took that fight. They thought that would be what would give them the positioning on Dragon. And they're still back in this river. Bartholdi still not cleared his jungle back down. Nearly level 5 on the face of it. And I'd have preferred him try and get a little bit more experience, a little more strength in himself before committing to the play.
Just pop thing.
Spending a lot of time in combat at level 4 when he probably shouldn't be level 4.
Soren J and Dokai know this is happening, but Strangler's on the top side. If you even if you wanted to contest, you're still contesting a smite. as it will tick down slowly, but it will tick down.
Okay. Let's take stock of the lanes very quickly. Just having a quick look. Mid, slight lead. Top, slight lead. Expected for Venom Crest. They haven't committed jungle time to these lanes too much. So just small leads while they figure that one out. Bartholdi, he sacrificed farm for objectives twice now. Does mean his team are ahead, but wouldn't have minded. Seeing those being picked up in a more controlled fashion would have allowed the Vi a smoother power curve and a continuation of her early advantage off that invade. And in bot lane, this is the big surprise, saving to last. And Ezreal with a CS lead over a Varus is not something we've seen too often in the past. Not too surprising given the context of the patch. The freebie being left alone while Fastlegged goes out and secures those objectives has left Verzik the 500 gold lead.
Very interesting situation to find yourselves in indeed. Varus known to be one of these more lane oppressive AD carries versus the Ezreal. You just really want to sit there and be safe on, and it seems that the roles have been reversed this game, this patch. Let's see how the game plays out here. Got a couple of minutes before any objective respawns. What do you want to see from these junglers, Temporal?
I wouldn't mind looking to see Bartholdi try and commit something to this top side, get the Yone rolling. A little difficult. Void Grub's coming back up now, so it does have something to fight for. Genji's ultimate just coming back up now. Roskilde, their ultimate is on its way.
Throws on Grubs. Will secure one. And now jumps onto Bartholdi. The kick is beautiful. There is cease and desist, but Bartholdi will go down. One dead. Nothing else to follow. It'll be 3 Grubs for 3 and a kill into like back pocket.
Not bad at all. From Verzik, they're there on time. Bartholdi tries to contest, tries to walk a bit too mean, bit too fast. Very, very nice flash R, or R flash rather, from Strangler. Just manages to make sure. Once again, he's in the right place at the right time. It's sort of been the difference so far. Bartholdi had a lead, but he's not managed to hold on to it. He's tried to sort of force the issue, rush a little bit too fast.
All going aggressive onto Roskilde. Trying to find those angles. There's no route to save now. Good bit of damage. Just an aggressive trade. And this is something that we saw last split before the introduction of Galul to the Venom Crest roster, right? Was Bartholdi looking a little bit lost as a route lands, and there's the knock-up, and there's the pop blossom is on to 2. Tycool is dead. Yokai next on the list. The flash comes out from the Braum. Will be safe. It is a one very, very quick kill by the Venom Crest.
And they bring it together. And this time they, Venom Crest, have the numbers advantage. And when there are multiple snakes in a position, I'm not sure what a Verzik is, as the corrupting chains go slightly wide.
Consort of demons?
Yeah,
Devils.
I can see the red horns. I always pictured Lars just being that person last place, in his side lane, big red horns running around hee 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 hee. I'm playing
Beast Fiora times.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the demons falling down to the snakes. Bartholdi just gonna jump in behind this tower.
We'll find Strangler here. Don't think that was intended, but
I think you knew the ward was there. Not so sure about the Lee Sin.
they're face first into the Blind Monk. And a freebie's ult missing really takes a lot of, especially after the play mid, you don't really have the room to just try and play onto the bot side. The only real CC you've got is that cease and desist.
Definitely a moment of calm there. There could have been an easy reversal play, or Venom Crest going forwards. Alas, not to be, not to be. Alright, Strangler's got his first item through, and I think we should talk about this one, Jika. I think Sundered Sky is the name?
Yes, that is Sundered Sky, indeed.
Yeah,
Do you wanna
only slightly reminiscent of Divine Sunder. Fills a similar role in that it provides a lot of upfront damage. Different role in that it is not linked to Armor Pen in any way, and just gives you that nice big crit at the start of a fight. Pretty important item for bruisers.
Not a spellblade item either. Tis just another steal away for Bartholdi. Lee Sin's not allowed blue buffs.
That blue buff, big old magnet. He's got 2 out of 3 of Strangler's blues. Oh, teleport in. That's Ty Cool. He's just taking an advanced path mid lane.
I see. Yes, Sundered Sky doesn't use the Spellblade that Sunderer did, but is just as strong, no less, especially onto these big fight bruisers that are going to be auto-attacking multiple times. A fight. Dragon is started by Verzik. Hilda will bait out with the phone, but this might just go down. Tycool here now as well. Attention. It's 1-for-1 on dragons as we enter the rift of the skies. The clouds descend to the world.
Alright, cool to see some extra rotational movement. Lee Sin, Vi, Neeko, Akali all use this quite well. A bit more exciting. Tycool having to go in mid.
Neeko, Akali, there is the ult from Tycool. The Pot Blossom doesn't quite land.
1-for-1, ults traded. Not bad. Strangler. A little opportunistic, nothing quite to land there. I think Roskilde will be happy to get this wave in and get out of here. The Rift Herald coming up as well as plates fall. Means that all spare members of Venom Crest, all currently 3 Cobras, are drifting up towards this top side.
Looking to start for that Herald. Bartholdi, I think, did just get caught on that far site. Not entirely sure. The Herald is started up. TP back in from Roskilde will allow for pressure in the mid lane. Pass like that as well. Both members of the bot lane for Verzik still in this bot side. NG has pressure as well. There is very, very little attention as Tycool going oh so low. The flash from Roskilde will secure the solo kill onto the Akali.
It's huge moves. The TP was always going to give priority on the wave, but priority on the wave and a kill and the safety on the objective. Skill there, earning huge value for their team. Can't be argued with at all. New Rift Herald usage, I'm still very mixed on. You could always use it like the old one. No plates to be gained. But I think it's seen its best as sort of a team fight starter. Interested to see where this goes. The Venom Crest can make fantastic use of it, or whether it's just a quick bit of infrastructure destruction. As I'm told in the background that Verzik might be an original RuneScape reference. I'm afraid I'm not a RuneScape kid. I would not understand. But hey, I'm going to have to check Twitch chat on Monday as to whether everyone else pointed that one out.
We shall see. First tower does go down in favor of Verzik in that play though. So not all hope is lost. Bot lane of Verzik really pulling forwards. The Ezreals we seem to have in the UK are very, very good players. Yeah. The last player on Mondays. Now there was a fight in the top side. Stun coming through from Fastlag. Another stun landing there. It's the Glacial Fissure and Bartholdi already dead. Sorange is here now as well. Fastlag has to run from the hills. Wait for the land but not followed. And Shida here just to back up the rest of the team.
Excellent True Shot Barrage converts nicely over the top. And yeah, you're right. Ezreal's in the UKL and the Four Nations tournament just go really hard, really good. Very few. I think we've seen that haven't just been fantastically effective at this sort of slow rolling style. With the new split, the new items coming through. Not been so sold on Triforce myself, but you know, it's still able to dish out so much damage, contribute so meaningfully to the mid game. I was going to point out just before that started, despite, you know, Venom Crest, I think, having the better position, I think playing for their comp a bit better as Tycool just dodges away. Gold was dead even, and now Verzik with that single takedown. Small lead. Alright, Rift Herald down. I told you he's riding it straight into the tower.
So the number of people that you see that can't drive a Rift Herald for their lives, they need to go back to driving school.
It was so easy. I don't know. I've not had any issues with it. I think as long as you remember you do have to click, you don't just have to point in a line. It is
not
quite
a sign-on.
straightforward.
Control it with your right click. But generally speaking, it's be okay. I had a moment the other night. Focus on a moment the other night where I hopped into the Herald as the AD carry while the jungler and support dragon managed to drift it all the way around bot wall into the tier 1 tower to spawn it at pit. Quite proud of that one.
Nice. I must point out there is I've only had one Rift Herald so far this entire season. Haven't played many games. The clip is up on Twitter. Oh my! I think I do mid into through where Nico is recalling right now, and then I loop it back around into where Freebie is now, and I hit 4 people with my definitely not Malphite ult. Come out, Lilia, QR, and the R is the word. Soren J. Just about Arcane Shift to safety.
And there is the Pop Blossom lands on two, and the Fate Sealed will secure their fates indeed. Very quick 2 kills for Venom Crest.
Yeah, nice and fast. That's what we wanted to see from the Vi at this stage in the game. You find the engage, you're not being left out, hung out to dry against something like the Braum that can deny your engage or slow down the people following you. Your unstoppable R carries you forwards. Roskilde still earning position, earning priority in this mid lane. It should be the fall of the T1, even with Soren J and Dokkai trying their best.
And as the double lands, the cleanse comes out for Soren J, but a freebie will take Dokkai. And now Bartholdi is looking for Soren J. The flash comes through. Get to safety. Not quite tagging.
White finding their way back in. The tier 1 tower and the support fall. Venom Crest, they've got the ball rolling from nowhere. At 19.5 minutes just before this Baron comes down. A great time to earn that advantage. Get that mid tier 1 down and secure your next round of vision inside your opponent's jungle.
Wrangler having to go and respond to this top wave. Skilda just looking to cover their jungler in case anybody decides to go a little bit too deep.
Yeah. Some criticism for Venom Crest here. Bartholdi late on the recall. I said you got to secure that next round of vision, you know. They've got the tier 1 enemy tower ward, but this rel should be being guided now around the enemy red buff. And I think by going and doing those camps at this time, that slowed down Venom Crest, who've been so far hot on objectives, only dropping that one dragon that they couldn't really play for. They couldn't hold the river. Now their Baron play slowed down significantly. They need to push out mid again. Need to be aware of what Roskilde and Tycool are going to get up to in this bot lane. You don't want to push the issue when multiple members of Verzik could be waiting to trap someone. But yeah, there's a round of vision to be secured here.
See what the situation is shortly, as another blue buff gonna vanish from Strangler's jungle here.
He's actually 1 out of 4. That's incredible. Very unfortunate.
I think he did take one of Bartholdi's though.
Ah, of course. I still think it's quite impressive to have 25% of your own blue buffs over a game. That's a humorous thing to think about. You know, we do have Valdanalist over in the LCK, but action, or how are we going to describe this, Zika? Action mode, attack mode, Zika?
Article aggression.
Yeah. Play-by-play flexibility, Zika. What is your experience with the... Oh, never mind. Soren J picked out slightly. Fast leg comes in.
Big fight by Fish lands, but it's not quite enough. Dokkai will fall Strangler, and Soren J now having to run for the hills. Trying to get a bit of poke down, but it's just not landing. It's just not sticking. Baron is now on the cards for Venom Crest. The fight could also ensue. We'll have to see. Cease and Desist is down. That Magnet Storm is down. Pop Blossom. Fate Sealed still very, very much available.
Oh, Shader.
Shader has been jumped on. It's a Cassante. I don't see them dying anytime soon.
Yeah, definitely 3,000 health, 45 mana Q. Knock up every 2.5 seconds. Very much enjoying the copy pasta. Oh, Roskilde.
Brave.
Yeah, didn't quite connect an insect there. I think earlier in the game. I'm just gonna let Roskilde walk. Gets the reset through. There's a bunch of components before this Baron. We haven't seen too much from a freebie this game, to be fair. I think just converting on team fight kills so far, but at 2 items, this on-hit Varus should be doing a huge amount of damage, even to Shieda. Quite excited to see them try and play through a full fight.
Take is one good fight. I think we'll start to just walk into this Varus's range a little too much.
I'm gonna assume Zeke's convergence is layered on the Varus as well.
You don't have to bind it anymore.
Really?
It is just the storm around your champion when you cast your ultimate.
Oh, I have read the patch notes, everyone. I haven't played much in the way of melee support. I'm having too much fun with Teemo support. I wish I was lying.
Soulless.
I'm normally the first color caster to like bash people for like, yeah, I've been doing this stupid thing in solo queue. It's a time, and Riot Games have gifted me a great gift. They've not said since season 5, where they're like, by the way, you just get an item for free. So enjoy this, have fun with it. And I have been having fun with it. I think it's almost competitive ready as well, but alas, I probably wouldn't wish that on anyone. We'll have to keep an eye out. Definitely not as good at engaging as this Vi.
Okay, will block most of that engage. Not quite anything to be found, but Shieda on a flank has found Fast Leg. The ult will come through, but Roskilde is ready and waiting on the other side of the fight. Strangler has found Bartholdi, but it's not quite enough. Shieda is already there. It's a 4 versus 5. A freebie is on a rampage. Kenji's on a flank. The Fate Sealed only lands on Kokai. Soren J running kills with the double kill. Varus, and now Soren so low. It's a triple kill for a freebie with a snipe from downtown, and the Baron is on the cards.
Just the tipper there from a freebie to put Soren J back in the pit, take down this Ezreal for the first time this game. Verzik a little bit broken in the approach. Bartholdi, I was like, oh, he's going to engage, he's going to go for the tower. Rest of Venom Crest pulled back, patiently waiting, avoiding Dokai's Glacial Fissure that could have trapped them under a tier 2 tower, giving them a greater advantage in the fight. Instead, Venom Crest take it more on their own terms, a deep flank, the finisher that they need to secure this Baron, move to an 8,000 gold lead. That crept up slowly, didn't it?
Slowly, but now ready, waiting. 3 dragons, now Baron strong. One more fight could spell the end of this game with how strong the siege is from Neeko, Varus, Yone.
Yeah, I don't even think you need to take the cannon minion buff bonus there from Roskilde. Just getting in under the tower, they'll do so much damage. This Varus will absolutely blast through towers at this stage, hitting quickly and with a reasonable amount of damage. And of course, splitting themselves between mid and top here. They're going to look to try and play with this last siege minion.
Pain lands onto Cheetah. Cheetah's already dead. It's godlike. A freebie in the Magnet Storm is huge, and the Pot Blossom is even bigger. And it's 2 already dead. So cool, the Perfect Execution will take the safety for now. But will it be enough if they sealed? Flash come through. Soren running from the hills, doing everything they can, but they will die. Kenji will pick up that one. And it's just Tycool against the world, pushing top and mid at the same time. Venom Crest, they found their prey, they bit, and they've injected their venom, ready to go for the kill.
Looks pretty lethal to me, Dr. Zeke. We'll have to see if the patient manages to roll over. Very unlikely. Is it Venom Crest? You know, it's a different style to their first win. We saw like a very explosive, top lane broken sort of style from them, and instead this time they played a little more around mid. They played this slow scaling AD carry. Even though they left the Varus on his own, Freebies managed to hold on. What a huge teamfight performance later in the game. Very excited to see more from this roster. They've definitely shown off the most in week 1, I feel.
Definitely made us all very excited to carry on. And they're just putting the boot in at this point. There's another blue buff stolen away from Strangler.
20%, down it goes.
How low can it go? One more fight, you should end
only
this
on
game.
the Four Nations will you see obscure English game show references, and if you don't get it, oh gosh, I can't tell people just go and watch TikTok. It's very rude. Ask your parents, they'll know.
only Bastion standing on the outer ends of base for Verzik. Demons trying their best, but the Fires of Hell not quite hot enough today. Peter and something and pushes Bartholdi back into the rest of the team as the Fate Seal lands onto 2 and the Brute catches as well. Bartholdi will fall, but the Pop Blossom is on 4 members of Verzik, and now they fall fast. Zoran has left. Cool, you're out, you're on the back. Your base is broken, your execution not so perfect. Your Nexus fall as you pop to the Varus.
A tough start for Verzik. A bit unfortunate. Venom Crest. What a way to start the season, eh? Absolutely brutal in both victories. I feel like this one was a little bit of a slower burner, a few more missed chances. But, you know, can't complain too much. A fantastic first week for the Cobras.
Absolutely insane coming out from Venom Crest. Of course, Verzik, they tried their best, and they were up against 2 of our stronger teams this week in Venom Crest and Ruddy. And speaking of Ruddy, I believe they are coming at us next against Nuclear Vikings. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back soon.
I read that contract you sent me to sign, but excuse me, I can't help myself, I'm just laughing. Hey, you try to cut out a piece of my pie, and I asked you politely, what's it that you offer me? Yeah, I produce all my own beats, and I have no intention of losing my publisher. Yeah, independent individual, boy, I've been eating off passive residuals. Yeah, let's be professional. Thanks for your time, but I had to decline out of principle. I've been scheming up a plan. Hey, I've been saving all I can. Hey, you can call me David Ramsey. The way I handle these bands. Hey, we ain't messing with the old model. New era, new kid, we full throttle. Just know that the come up is not a flaw. My amigos, they focus, know what to do. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it.
Yo, look, I ain't saying that I'm rich, cause if I'm honest, I've never been. But when I look at all these other kids, I feel just a little bit ahead of them. You should know the business is competitive. There's a lot of people that I'm better than. Even veterans ain't got the knowledge I do. I've been reinvesting all I ever spent. Stop pretending like you poppin'. Who been out here making profit? Told my mama that I got this. I wonder if she noticed what my job is. I don't know how I'ma make it, but I know no matter what, I'm finna find a way. All my homies finna eat and I ain't letting no one on my team look at an empty plate. Yeah. Went from a boy to a man. Ay, every day been making plans. Ay, they don't really understand. Ay, gotta look out for the family. I won't fall for any scam. Yeah, only worried about the fans. Yeah, I won't compromise the brand. Yeah, I've been saving up the bands. Whoa.
After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it. Rappers spending money in some really funny ways.
Welcome back, everybody, to game number 3 of our reruns. Ruddy versus Nuclear Vikings. Now, Ruddy, they had a pretty hard early game in their last game, up against Verzik. We did just see play, and again had a very solid early game, and fell to Venom Crest in the end. But on the other hand, Nuclear Vikings, kind of on the other side of that coin, had a very good game in general against Paragon. Their early game, yeah, it looked a little bit shaky, but not massively so. And they really, really did turn around and put the boot into Paragon with a sub top laner, no less. They do have Dusty, their main top laner, back on the roster today. So we'll see if that changes the team dynamic at all, or if we are still just going to be tanks up in that top side. Now, Ruddy, they're a team known for throwing spanners into the works, right? I think everybody can agree on that one. they like doing a bit of cooking.
Yeah, there's a little
Even
bit
if
of chaos. A
even
bit
if
of
it burns the
organized
kitchen
chaos.
down. Well,
Yeah, for sure. I think
sure.
should be, in their wheelhouse this early season. A little bit of an advantage. They're all quite experienced, quite active players.
And they've cooked. If we pull up the game, we'll see just what they have cooked up for us today up against Nuclear Vikings. Udyr, Xin Zhao, Yasuo, Karma, Rakan versus Olaf, Viego, Zoe, Aphelios, Tarek. Onto the Rift. It's Vikings. Take the ducks.
Yeah, ready? Fun team composition here. Akka's on the Udyr. Really strong pick on the patch. Gets prime pretty much every matchup. With Crisis being a Udyr main, should be able to manage that and actually translate it into the later game as well. And Sin on the Karma, the most brutally overpowered thing on the patch. Malignance turns this caster mage into an absolute machine gun. There will be mantra pretty much every spell cast, or at least every Q. And then sometimes, might switch it up, might decide to not watch Nuclear Vikings' health bars evaporate in front of himself. On the other side, I think something we haven't quite yet touched on for Nuclear Vikings is we've seen two players who we've come to know and love. Fruity Carrots last season in the Four Nations Division 1. Brody from the previous Paragon running Division 2's playoffs bracket. It's nice to see them having such a big glow up in Division 1. Their first win was really cool. Really quite decisive. Excited to see more from them. And of course, a blaster on the past, Mr. Lauer in the bottom lane. Practically an elder at this stage. We'll have to see how Nuclear Vikings pan out with this mix of new talent and old experience.
Interesting to see indeed. Now, I do believe that Fruity Carrots was on that Paragon roster with Brody as well. So they already have the pre-existing synergy.
Who have I got them mixed up with? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we can see how Udyr gains priority. Casting your second Phoenix stance. Just absolutely plows through the minion wave at your opponent. And then the empowered autos just make the melee minions disappear. Very, very powerful.
Now, we also have Ketsuo on one of his favorite picks.
Oh yeah, signature, absolutely signature. While we've seen a bunch of his Azir, and I think his Azir is absolutely fantastic, absolutely cracked on the pick. Known most for his Yasuo, so excited to see what he makes happen in this matchup. Already not afraid to get under Kiana's skin and just get a little sleepy trouble bubble out there.
See how this game goes. Of course, you do have a decent mid-jungle 2v2, especially since the removal of armor and MR shards in your runes. You don't really have to worry as much about what you are taking in that mid-jungle the early game. And of course, as of Yasuo level 6, you are looking at a pretty easy knock-up. It's Crisis. Maybe looking to go for an invade here. Pressure in mid, pressure in bot. Good look to catch Fruity Carrots unawares as Jamsu moves up as well. No vision so far. They know Fruity Carrots is there. They've walked straight on top of him. There's the flash from Fruity Carrots. The bot lane moves as well.
And this red side blue buff, 2 games in a row, absolutely eviscerated. Fruity Carrots was doing okay there. The jungle pathing was matched. The Crisis going for this invade once again successful. As his lane comes up to join him. I don't think anyone is used to that blue buff being so assailable right now after the map has been mirrored. Yeah, a real disadvantage for the Viego there as his clear is broken.
Shattered to pieces, and Dusty really not finding much success in this top side either. Of course, the Olaf, it is just there to out-pressure you. But Olaf, one of these champions where if you can't get that early lead, you're really, really going to struggle.
Difficulty for sure. I think with both bot lanes scaling so viciously, it'll be exciting to see whether Brody's Aphelios gets to, 3 items or it really does come alive, or whether Karma is able to shut out. It really only needs the Malignance. I would be interested to see if Sin goes for the support item, because I think even though the penalty was increased so strictly, it's still strictly good to have 2 support items. I've not quite done the maths on it. It's not quite as simple as last patch where you just give one play all the casters and want all the melees. It is a little bit more complicated now. That was my takeaway from watching a quick explainer. I'm not quite sure it's been optimized just yet. Some time out of lane for the support normally goes a long way. And with the Rakan, I think Jamsu might be able to offer just that. As once again, Ruddy gearing up for an invade.
It's like Dusty moving around, uncertain where anybody is. And there's the ghost from Akers, matched by Dusty. Fruity Carrots is here as well, but Dusty just has no health as the burn will tick down. It's 1 kill for Akers. It's a double kill for Akers in the top side as the Phoenix will cry, not needing to rise from the ashes today.
Yeah, the struggle indeed. The Yuri is so good at this stage in the game. Even just with the Doran's Ring, able to contribute so much, deal so much damage in that area of effect Phoenix stands. Enough to force the 2v2 through, and Kevin's here.
Ed and Eddie are gone. They're dead. They're never coming back.
I love all the different names we've got. Sin, Flash out,
Flash.
Lauai, not quite timing that one properly. At least for the Nuclear Vikings, they'll start off this dragon contest from Ruddy. Will be quite late if it comes through at all of Sin. For recall.
Keep back from Sin. There will be no contest. Crisis still on this top side. There is no smite to be seen. Hey,
Pulls away.
we'll kill top.
I'm pretty much a fan from what I've seen this season of like contesting without smite and really trying to mess with the jungler. There's so many objectives out on the map. I think if you mess with your opponent's jungler, even if it doesn't quite go anywhere, you tend to buy yours so much time. Not quite true with the grubs already down. You can't go over for Ed and Eddie 2, which I think was a thing. Our network was such a long time ago. It's sort of nice to see the tempo TP back. At least there will be no easy recall for Brody's Aphelios, which does allow Brody to hold on to the tempo here. Interested to see what they're going to do with it. As for now, I think Crisis should just be farming up to 6, looking to make an impact. Akers will meet Fruity Carrots in his jungle. This is a pretty scary 1v1 right now.
And here's Kiana on the wings. See if anything comes of it, but it looks like Akers just going to get to walk away with most of the mini chickens.
Without that 1v1 sustained. Just going to walk away, just messing, just slowing down his opposing jungle. Great thing to do, and something we've sort of seen missing from top lane last few seasons. It used to be the Olaf player would walk in and take your golems at the time, take your raptors, or wraiths, gosh. Because even though they didn't offer you much, taking away half your opponent's jungle just by getting priority, such a big thing. And fun to see different top laners in current year, you just get priority that bit faster.
For now, objective up. Gank avenues a little bit closed off, pressure in every single lane. Looks like going for this invade, Akers and Crisis, such a strong duo in terms of looking for these.
Just nearly missed. Alright. A little bit of a discoordination on the bases from Nuclear Vikings bot lane. Lauai gonna try and sponge his experience, try and get his level 6. Not worth backing for him at this stage, I think. Not quite get there yet, about a third of a level to go. With that in mind, we're looking across the map. Void Grubs should be back up again soon. I think we've got about a minute on that one. We've got very little going on in the jungle. Mac is being an absolute menace in this top side. Should probably be ready on the first move. Let's see if they manage to hold on to that position for the next minute.
Just sees Fruity Carrots does find Katsuo. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble goes down. Pop goes the Yasuo. Foreseen maybe. There was no scryer to see that one coming.
That's got to be my first caster curse of the year. Well done, Katsuo. Ak is already on the proxy farm though, so it should still be ready advantage in this top side. And it should still be this powerful Udyr getting first move. Already stacking up so many tank stats. And this sort of reminds me of early seasons Morgana. You can just sit on a Doran's Ring. There was a video, I think, in season 2. Morgana was such a menace at the time. one person played, I think, mid lane Morgana, and it just sat in the Darn's ring for half an hour, and Aka's right now doing much of the same.
We see a fight in the mid lane. Lao Wai dropping that Cosmic Radiance. In return, the Xin Zhao ultimate, the Grand Challenge.
I think it would definitely be worth it, Ruddy, to take that trade if Jamsu was level 5, but we are currently missing the quickening from that suite. And so Ruddy still an ultimate down. See him trying to get a little bit more XP out of mid. He gets 6. Will they contest? They're rushing forwards.
Looks like they really want to fight as the Wind Becomes Lightning lands onto 2. There's the quickness, lands onto 2 as well. The knock-up onto Qiyana will fall. Crisis already dead though. Qiyana now will fall as Jamsu looking for anything. Dusty just running from the fight. It's a double kill for Fruity Carrots now. As Jamsu trying to do everything they can, flashing over the wall. Dusty will fall to Akers. The triple kill for Fruity Carrots, jumping back over the wall, chasing Akers down. Lao Wai won't be able to quite land the stun. Will fall as the stun misses, the Q misses. Akers doing everything they can as Lao Wai falls. Now it's just a 1v1.
Massive
Akers
stalemate.
really
Such a
feeling
tense fight. Yeah, it's the struggle, I guess, for the Nuclear Vikings. While that fight looked pretty good, and while Lao Wai were able to be so tenacious, able to hold on, it wasn't quite enough to win the fight. It was enough to stop them losing, though, but Fruity Carrots picked out.
Just up and down and back around. The death falls, and Qiyana now here as well. Yasuo was asleep. Smite will take Qiyana to safety. But it is, I believe, 2 grubs going over to the side of Ruddy. That is 5. That is very, very strong for the Ruddy Ducks as they come into the point where sieging is becoming a much, much bigger threat. There's a solo kill somewhere. Now we look bot side. Brody finds the stun on Sin. The flash comes through and Sin will go down. Brody will take 1 in return on another side of the map. But Akers 6-0-1 on this Udyr. Frozen Heart already in inventory. Man is terrifying.
Yeah, he's already stacked up so much tankiness. Despite Sin going down, has managed to complete his full build. I think the joke is on current patch. With that base, the Nuclear Vikings, while they will get up this second dragon for themselves, this small reprieve, members of Ruddy continue to have such a dominating top side. This Karma is going to look after herself from here on out. It is small victories.
Those that don't know, this item does Malignance, give you ultimate ability haste, and when you land your ultimate ability on an enemy, it will create a burn beneath them. On a very, very short cooldown as well. Something like Karma procs long term.
Yeah, you end up fighting throughout your entire burn, keeping that passive high, the magic resist. All powerful. This item set up massive number of pings onto the bot side. Lao Wai coming forwards won't find Sin. If we look out across the map, Akers should be able to push down this tier 1 now, or at least push in another plate. It's on the Nuclear Vikings on the red side to try and find something back. The top side is not going their way.
Dusty trying to do everything they can to save this tier 1, not to lose that first tower. Because now to fight the bot side, and Brody will just get the Cosmic Radiance in time, but Solo will survive for now. And the sleep goes down onto Crisis, and Jamsu's dead on the backside of the fight. Now rooted up is Crisis. Brody looking to go forwards. Fruity Carrots will ult forwards. The stun won't land, but it's a double kill, and there's a TP coming in on the backside. Akers has joined the fight. Qiyana will kill Sin, but now Qiyana is next on the list. Akers in a 1v4, burning Qiyana down. Oh, so slowly the ghost has been popped. Not much Akers can do for now. We'll see.
Little late to the party, did secure the tower, but unfortunately team had already fallen the sleepy trouble bubble from Qiyana. Enough to push it over the edge. Ruddy, I still feel the victors of the play with getting those 2 tier 1 towers around the freshly spawned Rift Herald. It allowed them to play for that. Jamsu's already out, getting some vision down. Gets the ward in where the tier 1 tower is, and with those new entrances to the jungle around mid lane, that is even more valuable than last season. Ketsuo starting up on Dusty. This should be numbers advantage when the play goes through. That Blade of the Rune King will absolutely eviscerate the Olaf as Ruddy come to collapse.
Making their way slowly but surely. As there's the knock up into the ultimate. The armor pen has come through, and Dusty, there's nothing to be done as Ketsuo will grab that one.
Start up the objective. They're getting going. Kiana, no teleport, so that will be that from Nuclear Vikings. Cross map will be minimal. Just keeping farming in the lane when they still have presence. And this is a team I'd like to see make great use of the Rift Herald. I think either Akaz or Crisis could ride this one in for an easy engage. Try and actually take the fight a bit more to the Nuclear Vikings. So far, everything has been traded back through one mechanism or another. You know, if Akaz went deep on top, got a kill with Crisis, there's been a takedown in the bot lane or a 2v2 on mid to keep the Nuclear Vikings in it. You know, even though his top side is so strong, we're waiting for the scaling from Ruddy's bottom side. We're waiting for a huge 2v2. We're waiting for a clutch ultimate out of the Yasuo. It's not been all sunshine and rainbows for Ruddy.
Has not, and there is definitely an onus of execution on both of these teams as we wait and see. Bubbles landing on Akaz left, right, and center, but the damage not really there from Kiana yet. Only sat on that one item. Akaz full Leandry's completed now as well.
Huge amount of damage. This is so many champions' core item these days. Ability to ramp up your damage and do the percentage health means it can offer enough damage alone to get through a tank. It's such fantastic. It's so good. You have non-mythic items they can mix and mash together.
Haunting Guys is back as well.
Haunting Guys is back, my boy. The absolute hero.
Now collapse onto Kiana, the knockup comes through. Zoe will be able to flash to safety for now. And what looked to be a pretty done deal.
Oh no!
Akaz is going on a Tokyo drifting journey!
Is he cooking? Is he cooking?
Oh my god, he's done it! He's done it!
Just taking the extra path through, doing a little bit of scouting on the way to the tier 2 tower. Sorry I doubted you, Akaz. Absolute schmovement.
Akaz, you are better than Kasing. Good job. Get your driving permit.
Did Kasing pull a bit of a funny one? I haven't watched much NLC.
Straight into the wall. Next to bot tier 2. Red side tier 2.
Whoops. A little bit of a whoops. I think Caps as well. Using it as a bit of a rotational aid rather than a, Rift Herald as it should be.
Hey, that's the joys of being able to control it now. You can use it however you want. And Akaz proving that maybe should take up go-karting in the spare time.
A little bit of a racer moment. Oh, fantastic to see.
I would say boy racer, but we all know Akaz has been around for a while.
Yeah. Fully fledged man at the top lane. Look at him go. Huge beard and all. He races toward his next item. I haven't looked at everything so far. But that is either a Spirit Visage or the new magic tank item.
That may be Hollow Radiance. It could be Kaenic Rooker, though.
I was leaning towards Kaenic. That's the one, isn't it? But yeah, I do like the I've been calling it Magic Fire Cave, which is really lazy naming. But what can you expect out of a League of Legends player? And that just offers so much wave clear on top of the Phoenix dance, because as you get those 2 pops, you proc, you kill some minions, then that kills some more minions by proccing off their death, and it's a huge way to push through the wave. All important on this side lane, on this Yudir. Offers some nice stats as well.
Really does. As we look, we can see Yasuo has a Sheen in inventory.
Ooh, Triforce.
I think it might be. I think we're back to Triforce Yasuo days.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been. It's been a little while. But to be fair, into Taric, Viego, Olaf, I can understand it.
Yeah, I'm feeling so much nostalgia this split. Like, even though solo queue's been an absolute wasteland, It's been nice to just like some familiarity. It's like, oh hey, this item kind of feels like this one from back in the day, so we
Nope.
mess with it.
I sang it's an Iceborne Gauntlet.
Iceborne Gauntlet. Still, you know, similar theme.
Yeah.
Spellblade procs, not dying, lots of damage when you don't die. Staying alive. Just confer doing lots of damage. I can kind of see why, right? We're seeing more damage than you would traditionally expect out of a tank in Akers, in Erling Narland himself.
Yeah.
And the bot lane is going to dish out so much magic damage on top of a Zinzao, who is, you know, damage skewed as well, that Titanic Hydra, and then
Sundered Sky.
yeah, if it ends up being a Sundered Sky in the back, I can't remember the Zinzao build.
It is Titanic into Sundered into Cleaver, I believe.
Cleaver. So I've been doing Cleaver on 2. 'Cause I think that item is just a little bit insane. But yeah, it could be the Sundered here. I think if you front load a load of that damage, it prevents the Zoe coming back in. Makes Tarek's job that much harder, which is pretty great into this composition. So happy to see both, really. It's so easy to just make the Yasuo to finish off that point. A little bit tanky, a little bit tougher. When he does go in for that engage, he can hold his own a little longer, continue to dish out that damage.
Of course, because of that last breath increased armor pen, your damage doesn't really suffer either.
Yeah.
You do a good amount of damage anyway.
Not as much as you'd expect, right?
No.
You don't go down to like a mage building Banshee's Veil levels of I just don't want to die here.
Oh yeah.
What's
Yeah,
the
no.
meme? Was it Marshall Lynch all those years ago? I'm just here not to get fined. I'm just here not. I'm just here
Yeah.
not to die.
Just hit to live, not die, please. Although it would
Fines,
seem
please, Mr. Commissioner.
Kanik Ruckern now completed for Erling Narland.
there it is. Huge magic shield. This has currently made Galio an absolute menace in
Yep.
amateur competitive. We haven't seen much of him yet. We don't have that many Galio players in UK. I seem to remember Lauai playing it in support back in the day. I'll have to see if that's a return. Akers here can pretty much keep this Baron aggroed with very, very little investment. The turtle stance currently enough to shrug off all damage from anyone getting a little bit eager.
Bubble on to Ketsuo. Can't land the paddle star just yet. Baron has been reset.
Like Reddy probably should have kept that up and then used Sin and Jamsu to interface with the front line instead. Looks like they're resetting. Alright, with Crisis back in base. It's a bit of an interesting engage. They need to be very careful.
Dusty has popped the ghost. And now there's the ultimate onto Akers. Running him down, but doesn't quite have any form of run down.
Karma does so much frontline management here. Akers can be so comfortable running forwards.
Here we see Kiana just trying to land paddle stars. Right, it's going slow, it's going long, and there's the first kill. Killing spree for Fruity Carrots as Sin goes down, and there is the Cosmic Radiance onto every single member as Akers is next in the firing line. It's a shutdown for Kiana. And a beautifully played fight. He's ready to have to concede the Baron. I mean, Crisis can look for a steal, but if I speak, I am in big trouble.
You don't want to force it, would you? He's going to give it a go anyway. And yeah, absolute props to Fruity Carrots. They found the line. No flash required. Nice and easy for Nuclear Vikings jungle to pick out.
He
Sin.
gets
Oh,
it!
he's done it!
You lose your life, but you steal the Baron. Beautiful.
Absolutely worth. Type it in all chat. Trade deal secured. My word, Crisis. The jungler of Nuclear Vikings might have broken the fight open, but Ruddy's jungler takes the grand prize back again. Able to hold on, take down that objective, and it's going to be small beans for Nuclear Vikings. They manage to move over the soul point. The soul point on a Chemtech Rift is nothing compared to a Baron.
Beautifully played steal from Crisis. Well, it looked like we were gonna cause him to use his namesake, get him to break set out of there. He opted to go for it. And now Akers has found Lauai. All friends. Sin will pick up that kill, their first kill of the game. And now Fruity Carrots on to Ketsuo. The damage come out of this combat is huge. There is the ultimate from Ketsuo, and Dusty having to flash away. Fruity Carrots, Brody in the middle of everybody. Brody will fall. Kiana doing everything that they can, but Akers is so goddamn tanky. He does not die.
Got to tank the tower, tank the front line. It's so hard for those Nuclear Vikings to get through Akkas right now. A huge magic shield preventing Kiana from making any headway. The turtle stance is there in the background. Look at his health bar refill.
Onto Kiana, everybody bar Brody back on the rift now. The stun lands onto Kesper, but a 3-man knockup from Jamsu spells disaster for Nuclear Vikings. They fall 1 by 1 as Ruddy. They have Baron. Brody's the only one alive. The Nexus towers are free, and Brody will fall. A quadra kill for Sin on this Karma. And that will be the game. The guts laugh in the face of the Vikings.
There's a Ruddy up angle if I've ever seen one. Sin and Jamsu, that was what the composition was designed to do. They moderate the front line. They continue to spit out damage for free. Crisis' health bar increasing in that last fight compared to the start of it. Incredible, incredible moves from Ruddy's top laner. Nice to see that they can play things that might not traditionally be super competitive. You know, Udyr Top, very much an invention of this past 12 months. To use it correctly, use it to push open a game where you're struggling with technology in the bottom lane, you then have that technology come back in the late game. Fantastic moves. Very excited. Nuclear Vikings played well. Some moments of brilliance. Not quite enough today.
They definitely were playing on the edge, and I'm very excited to see how far both of these rosters go. But in the end, Ruddy do take it. And that Karma really showing its worth. A quadra kill at the end there from Sin.
Sin just rescuing his scoreline. I know what it's about. That's okay.
Nearly.
It's all right.
If it had been a pentakill, I think everybody would have been impressed. I mean, Karma pentakill, how often do you see that, right? We always praise Sin as a very...
At the moment, more often than I'd like.
This is fair, and I am hearing from production that Sin does have the most damage dealt.
If you're in a bracket in solo queue at home, this is some quick advice from Coach Temporal. You can maybe learn Karma in one game at the moment. If you've played Earth before and you can roll your face across your keyboard, you know what it's about. Get to one item on Karma, and yeah, just cast it, all of it, all the time. Very difficult to lose. That champion will be addressed by a balance patch. It's not an exploit. It's just a little bit of a happy mistake in balance. So, like Bob Ross, make some happy little mistakes. Get out your paintbrush and absolutely decimate your opponents for free league points. Go and do it. You know, lots of damage out of Sin this game, even though 80% of his takedowns came in the last 20 seconds. Very exciting gameplay. Go do it at home. Enjoy it for yourself. Won't be there for very long.
Very exciting game indeed. And of course, we praise Sin as a hyper carry player. The Karma not really falling to that style. So very well played to Sin. Don't go anywhere, though. We have one final game for you at home. We'll see if Belfast Storm, with their new and improved roster around Limsey, can take on and defeat DMG UK. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon.
Yeah, you ain't gonna stand if you win a businessman, man. I promise you the plan ain't gonna work. Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for our last game of our pre-recorded segment before we go live with Week 2, Day 1's games. We have Belfast Storm up against DMG UK. Now, before I talk about how these teams' games went on Monday, which were a bit hit and miss, let's be honest here, there is a grudge. This is a bit of a grudge match. Belfast Storm's AD carry. Saber Avalon 1-2-3 in game. Alias Tien, used to be Jinyu, was the mid laner for DMG UK in autumn 23. Has role swapped to AD carry and moved to Belfast Storm. Do we think there's a bit of a grudge against the old team? Do we think...
We'll see. Maybe. I think he was quite an emotional player on DMG. We saw lots of Kiana until that was proven to not quite to be so effective. But plenty of standout performances from DMG's mid laner last split. Yeah, let's see if it's a little bit personal this time. Might be the way around. We'll have to see. With the rest of the new Belfast Storm, who largely haven't quite proven themselves. I think Limsey had a pretty good showing. There was a little bit of rust's the not quite word. Not everything's greased up yet. No, we're not a smooth machine from the new Belfast Storm. I want to see a little bit more from them. I want to see a little bit more that's maybe proven in practice and scrims. A little more of a fluid execution, trusting each other, being on the same page. The goal for Belfast this game.
Absolutely, and if we look very briefly back to their results on Monday, both teams did end up losing, I believe. DMG fell to the Lions Creed roster that we know oh so well at this point. Cabbage Family crew, as it were. And Belfast dropping to Venom Crest, getting absolutely rolled, if memory serves. It was a very, very fast game in favor of Venom Crest, but we will see which team can take this game. We will see if DMG UK, the Orc, can beat out their old player and say, see, we had reason. Or if Tian can say, actually, no, I'm in control here. Let's find out as we head on to the Rift for DMG UK versus Belfast Storm.
Alright, we can see some choices were made in Champion Select here. And if we're gonna, this is the Be Kind Rewind broadcast. Monday's live games will be going out afterwards. We can see that somehow Karma got through draft again, which is absolutely incredible. And of course, Brand Jungle, which has been pretty dominant on this patch. If this champion reaches level 4, he's an absolute menace to deal with. Really, really difficult for every jungler. Very much Xin Zhao until he hits level 6 to contest with. And when Xin Zhao does contest with him, it always involves a trade of ultimates to avoid some long-range damage or get through the stun. Very difficult for some of these picks to get through. However, Ashe, incredible on the patch still, unnerfed somehow. Good in support and AD. Paired up with the Ezreal we saw pop off earlier, even though didn't end up in a win for the Ezreal. I think we saw the strength of the pick in lane. Should allow this Ashe to spend some time on the rest of the map, get into those objectives. And of course, we haven't even mentioned Kled yet. Traditional counter to Aatrox. A big beneficiary of the way Doran's Blade works this season, going back to lifesteal and getting a little bit of a buff. Very excited to see the absolute bloodshed that this top lane should be, because if the Aatrox does come out ahead, pretty much has to be perfect execution and repeated all-ins. You can't stay in lane for a long time, because then when you do start that war of attrition, it tends to get his shield back before you go through.
Absolutely, and I mean, this is another really interesting pairing is the Leona Ophelio spot lane. You see Muffin going straight onto Timur there. But of course, Ophelio
was a bit of a choice.
Abilities.
Oh my, that's rough.
Very, very rough. The double poke at the carry lane. Gonna be a pain to see for now.
Yeah, if you do choose to engage as a support level 1 into double range, you really have to spook them. You have to get them back, not kiting, but walking. To actually survive the layer of damage that comes after. Looks like BB Over wasn't quite able to get that through there.
See how it advances, but I believe I'll have to check this later at a later date. But I do believe Ezreal yet to win a game in UKL the split.
Yeah, All Nations not being kind. The Sheriff of Nottingham trusted Ezreal pretty well describing the temperature. I think over the last few weeks. Last week was a bit warmer, but good gosh, it's freezing.
It's been very, very cold. See, trading in the mid lane. We see the power of this Akama in the early game. Walk up, point and click route, shields, good damage on the Q.
Yeah,
Jobs are good.
Shield really ties it together, taking no damage back from those minions. Then to secure the full trade. Limsey Syndra is pretty strong. Champion we've seen again. Not his Azir. I feel like we're saying that about so many Four Nations mid laners. You know, it's not as good as their Azir, but it's still really strong. Azir, Orianna, Syndra. Sort of his big three. Very interesting. You see more Syndra come through. Whether the Scat of the Week will be enough to find sort of the mid-game modulation that you want to allow your Xin Zhao to be diving force in the 2v2 and the sort of expanded unit fights will be a sign of success here for Belfast.
I have a distinct memory of Limsey Corki being pretty good as well. I don't know why.
He might have played a bunch of Azir Corki. That makes a bunch of sense.
We see, looking at Meowen, Meowson. I think that's nice. Can't really tell. Just looking to take the recall while gaining vision on enemy chickens. It's gonna be a bit of a slower early game anywhere except top lane, I would guess. Once you hit level 6 in spot lane, you can really start to look to it, make it explosive. But for now, top lane's really the only place we should be seeing any fighting. And of these junglers really wanting to get involved. I mean, Xin Zhao can get involved, but when you're into a brand, you can also just opt to take the power farm to 6 route and then really show that champion who is boss.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the way to go, right? As soon as you get level 4, the brand can get out places. I think before then, especially at level 2, very vulnerable. Didn't see anything come through. Unga still level 4 here, but Zavu is on the way. Should be able to convert this. Looks like the just can let him go. Flash is not traded. Instead, a huge minion wave piling up should be able to deny WYAK a little bit of golden experience.
Very, very solid fight there from UAC to survive. And I can confirm from production, Ezreal is 0-2 this split.
Ouch. Very ouch.
Indeed.
Especially considering the strength of the pick. You know, there's lots of good AD carries right now. I think Jhin still probably the most sleeper, Fortune, and Ezreal the most prevalent in solo queue. Gosh, Brand really does do so much damage to the Kevins.
Or Kevin's!
Able to rock off each other continuously. Gets the shields down.
Kevin's home alone now!
Oh man, there better be some great Home Alone pins this year. I really enjoy it. Javuv coming down onto the dragon, getting that in trade. We'll start that one up. Not a lot DMG UK can do about that. Their lane's not in position to follow and move out. Game should be given away. Vision Cone was procced just in view of DMG's bot lane.
We shall see now. Unga going quite low. There's the ultimate onto UAC, forcing the flash away. Not quite enough of a fight. That's no ultimate for UAC, so I think as soon as that World Ender comes in, Unga gonna have to be very, very scared.
It's a bit of a middle thing, right? No TP from either top. It does at least get a flash advantage for Bunga in this top side. That's something.
Meow on this Scuttle Crab now. Bunga did see it, so Javuv can track.
It's a scary summon a name to have. That was,
Meow.
I was just like, hold on, what?
It's yeah. I mean,
maybe a lover of zombies and cats. That's fine.
Don't get me wrong. I hearing the word meow out of context, it's rather interesting. When I'm trying to say it in a serious context, that doesn't happen. But here we are.
Here we are. Yep. Just enjoying some games from the past. The way it's gotta be.
Now, I think typically we're seeing Ezreal's more recently in solo queue at least lean more towards the old Essence Reaver Navori build.
Yes. It's definitely Essence Reaver. I've cooled off on Navori. I think it's definitely a late game option, but instead loading up on damage seems to be favoring Ezreal a little better, especially some armor penetration. Sometimes 2 layers of armor penetration at the moment if the game calls for it. Don't think anything does here. Pretty hard call between the Serilders, slowing down Aatrox's approach, trying to deal with anyone who's mantra-ing forwards. And of course, the Lord Dominik's Regard, because someone will have to chew through this Aatrox. You don't want him getting chaotic in a fight. Ezreal will be hitting him plenty. Interested to see which way Saber Avalon goes here. Instead, Manamune, pretty staple. I think a lot of people have been going towards the Infinity Edge. Root does come through. It confirmed.
He's going for the shorter trades, but I mean, if you take one too many auto attacks from Timur, you could find yourself in a dangerous position. So first blood's not full, but there's an arrow. It's flying, it's flying, it's flying, it's landing on Dwill! And there is the first blood to Limsey. A beautiful arrow from Timur flies straight through the river and nails Dwill in the back of the head.
TIMR. Absolute sniper moves. You get Belfast on the board. Pretty quiet early game. You know, Belfast bot lane, they've kept the pressure up. Farm has stabilized and they will engage in topside.
Ultimate onto Yuak. Shavuv is here already and waiting. It is ult for ult. The charge is used as is the one on him. There is the engage onto Tien. Tien going very, very low. BBXN focusing Timur though. It's the only person he can hit. So many chakrams, but not enough damage. Cannot quite keep damage going. And now Muffin trying anything. Will take Tien down with them thanks to the solar eclipse.
Just manages to conceal the moon there for a moment, explode and take down Saber Avalon. A clutch fight. I was about to say, despite Belfast getting ahead, the farm equal. DMG getting one kill back. Don't complain too much.
As the grand challenge, Meow trying to do anything they can, but of course all that damage being blocked. Things
Void
come
Grub's
down.
coming up.
The arrow, it lands on Dwill again!
No scatter from Limsey. Can't quite reach.
Now we see a fight. Yoak and Bunga going at it, but Shavuv is on the way. Grubs are all but given Belfast here.
I think that's the 6, isn't it? Oh no, Mior got the first set. Got the first set. Oh gosh, I had a bit too much fun with that. Yeah, ult's traded over. So by Bunga trading in his charge for the World Ender. By Limsey getting in on mid lane. The Ash Arrow coming through, delaying Dwell's back. As the Belfast get in, 3 and 3 on the Grubs. A nice equalization. Neither team getting that massive pushing power. Just a little bit of bonus for both.
Power behind this double global bot lane as well.
Yeah.
Once Ezreal gets a couple of items, you land the Ash Arrow, you land the Ezreal ult, that's half the health gone on the spot.
Going for a Triforce here, which I think is pretty interesting. I've really been enjoying the Essence
Dwill
Reaver.
is just dead.
Yep, removed. Karma not strong enough with the Malignance alone to take the 1v1. You'll take the War of Attrition. You want to get those multiple casts of your ultimate down. Syndra only needs 1. Yeah. So, unfortunately, a little bit of overconfidence. Lets Belfast get 1,000 gold back in the lead.
Dragon is up and available.
If Belfast were to choose to commit here, we've got the Ash Arrow up as well. You would have everything but Munga's teleport, which is just going to cast on the top side as the Glacial Arrow comes through.
Onto Muffin, there's flash forward from Tian. And the double ult coming out of Muffin.
You have to be so happy with that as Belfast. That is the easiest Solar Eclipse trade deal, I think, ever. And just to get a flash and ultimate out, Tiamar's own, with Dragon coming up. Shavuv will get that one started. Plenty of time before the Rift Herald as well. So, nice and easy way for Belfast to arc through these next 2-3 minutes.
Now, it looks like the objective, the only thing that's going to go over it will be second Dragon for Belfast, though. As we see,
the cross map here, Limsey on the TP.
dive onto Bunga. Bunga going solo. One more auto will do it, and Yuak is able to get the solo kill there. We are on Chemtech Rift with an Aatrox, a Karma, and an Aphelios.
2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3 for Chemtech today. The Green Dragon's eating good. I suppose we could call it the Welsh Green Dragon, couldn't we? That's something. It's a UK and Ireland reference.
Yeah.
I've ever heard one.
I believe we have had one Cloud.
Oh yes, first was Cloud, and then we've had 2 Chemtech.
I can't remember what the 4th game was though.
Oh wait, we're on 4 games.
Yeah, we're on 4th game.
I
I think we had an Ocean in there somewhere.
Yes, we had an Ocean Soul claimed by Lions Cabbage Academy.
Cabbage Creed Academy.
Cabbage Creed, I like that. That's cool.
Okay. So,
Majority
more of a-
Chemtech, but only just.
yeah.
Only just.
We like a bit of Chemtech, especially in this game, right? I mean, you're looking at so many different champions with heals and shields.
And I think Karma definitely gets the most out of it. Any Karma composition, you know, you could say like, oh, but all the resists are conditional and all the damage, it's like Karma just does not care. It'll keep someone alive at that health forever and slows you down to really make the most of those bonuses, get the most EHP.
Of course,
And that last bit of your
each.
health bar extends so far. Belfast sending up around mid now. That Ash arrow will fly.
It will fly very, very soon. There's the arrow onto Dwill. It's all she wrote for the Karma. Dead Tian will take that kill. And now the Herald is in the sights of Belfast Storm. No contest. No mid laner. Tower in mid may fall as well.
Easy pickings for Belfast, waiting until Dwill casts the auto attack, locking himself in place for a moment and aiming slightly to the left so that if he does try to evade, flash or walking out, lead him towards Belfast. Nice and easy moves. This is the macro improvement I wanted to see from Belfast after their first game being a little messy. Great work together as a team, as a coordinated unit will also get them through the tier 1 tower and on to the rest of this mid game.
Now looking to Juak, 4 members strong on this top lane. Herald goes down and Timur will bash the tower, but there is so much damage coming out. The healing, it's not quite enough. The Sundered Sky is so strong. An item will fall in the end, my friend.
Yeah, gets a little bit of that front-loaded damage. Zavuv rather dropping low. Yeah, Dwill should be able to just hold on this side. Arcane Barrage across mid does not offer a lot. DMG just falling a little bit behind, not keeping the pace up in this game. If we're going to compare this Karma to the Ruddy of last game, I think Dwill just hasn't quite managed to be part of any winning plays. The Karma, when isolated and alone, doesn't offer a lot as BB Muffin stunned up in mid.
Now the jump comes in, the knockup goes down, the Eclipse, it's not enough. Timur will secure that kill for himself.
Not bad at all. Not bad. That moves to Belfast being 7-2. And despite only a 2,000 gold lead, they've definitely got the I'm going to show up and play for PvP in lane edge, I think, at this stage. And that's still a knock to confidence, even if it's not the biggest economic advantage. It's hard to sort of see where DMG are going to stabilize a side lane. I'd like to see more out of Mior or Meow. Is that canon now? Is that the way we're going to say it?
I don't know how it's meant to be said, so it's how I've read it. It's how I first read it. It's how I'm going to keep saying it until I'm corrected.
No, it's 10 out of 10. We got to keep doing it. Yeah, we haven't seen a big pyroclasm yet. It's sort of there's no evidence in kill score and takedowns of where DMG are most comfortable getting back in. You know, I can preach that we should be seeing this Ezreal having his cleanse burnt and repeatedly attacked. We can see Limsey being walked up on. Maybe that's the angle.
Oh, but the 1-for-1 already, and the TP coming in from Bunga here as well. Limsey will fall, shut down by Meow, but now Bunga trying something. The arrow lands onto Yuak, stopping any kind of chase down in its tracks. It is mid for mid, but a shutdown going over to this brand.
Yeah, that's kind of what we want to see. We want to see the ramping up of team fight, ramping up of damage. DMG not comfortable in the side lanes alone. I think outside of Yuak, who is enough of a menace to get Bunga to back off. I think the Sundered Sky, good for both of these players attacking other members. The Aatrox in isolation does look stronger at this stage. Level advantage over his opponent. That will allow DMG to be the ones to start this dragon and get the teleport in.
Back from both mid lanes, the Solar Flood will land onto Timur, and now it's stolen away by Zavuv as the team fight ensues. Very, very low health. That's a double kill for BBXN with a beautiful Moonlight Vigil. Infernum will rip and tear through Belfast Storm. They lose the dragon, but they take 2 in return.
A little bit of missed expectations for me. I was like, oh, DMG can play this out slowly. Instead, they commit to the dragon, lose it to Shavuv for 2 kills over the Solar Eclipse. Fantastically placed by BB Muffin, even if he is cosplaying our favorite top esports AD carry of years gone by. Here's some of the name, and I think it's a weird one to see them win that fight. The Infernum was absolutely fantastic across the top. It's always hard to tell whether you're close enough for the Flames to really absolutely rip and tear, as you said, through your opponents, LPL style, or whether you're just going to fall a bit short and get a bunch of AoE off. Really fantastic moves to spot that line there. The Enchanted Crystal just grazing Dwell's nose. It's going to respectfully move away from that cannon minion now.
Clencher.
Yeah. It is clinching, isn't it? It's right on the edge of your seat. Saber Avalon going to 2 items. We'll be able to offer more next time, but bot lane from DMG. Rescuers of that dragon fight. Interesting to see now. Baron 1 minute away. More team fight tools for DMG. A big pyroclasm in the river could be their way through. With the collector through as well, this Ophilos is really going to start to sting. You want to see, do you reckon it's a Hubris line? I know that's the way on Jhin right now. And on the caster AD carries. Or are we going to see something more like an Infinity yet?
For Aphelios, we've gone back to seeing a more Stormraiser into Infinity Edge build. His lethality got nerfed off the back of last patch because he was a bit too
collector
strong.
through, are we going to lean back into that line, or are we doubling down on some big ult casts?
I think we lean back towards the Infinity Edge here. We could see a Hubris. I wouldn't be surprised. Item is really, really strong. But as an Aphelios main myself, I really like the Infinity Edge. I think it gives you so much, especially on red-white.
Yeah, best of both. Best of all of the damage all of the time. DMG immediately in on this Baron. It will be spotted out with the orc shot from TIMR. The invitation not accepted into this river. DMG, they're going to leave the empty party behind.
They decided to try. Didn't quite come through with it. We'll have to see what the next port of call is. Because this Baron really is the next thing to play around. But there is one more dragon until Belfast Storm
Arrow to
have
top.
that soul.
Oh!
Arrow lands onto Dwill again. And he's just dead. Timur and Limsey are playing like well-oiled machines with these arrows.
Yeah, every time. I think Limsey only needed the first 2 spheres of his ultimate there. Didn't need any of the extras. Didn't need trying to think fancy. Shreds Dwill down. His Karma side laning is not where the pick wants to be. It's so strong, but to moderate the front line, to play a 5v5, huge value and repeated mantras. On the side lane, it looks vulnerable against this Syndra. A decent side laner of her own, not fantastic though, and I think Limsey really showing some experience in where to manage, where to come forwards, and how to not give the game away to Dwill that they're pushing for a kill. Every time it's looked like a surprise, it's looked like an absolutely nailed Enchanted Crystal Arrow from out of vision. I think DMG struggling to stabilize this side lane.
Definitely taking a lot of resources. Interesting thing to look at though. A very late coal pickup from BBXN.
Just hedging his bets. He needs a little bit more, a little bit extra. He's still farming quite nicely. I'll say that for every member of DMG. I guess a little investment in his future. Alright, I like Dwill signing up with BB. Leaving Wywak in the sides. Wouldn't mind Mio taking the other side lane and just trying to clear from range with the brand, at least until next fight comes up, although wave state is fixed in DMG's favor. Unga falling away now. Pings from both teams down onto this Baron. Mountain Dragon is coming up, and I think Belfast trying to take advantage of DMG going a little too early. The arrow just wide.
BBXN did have cleanse available as well.
Yeah, he's not been the target of many Enchanted Crystal Arrows. I think Belfast evading that quite nicely.
making the summoner almost non-existent as Baron is started up for Belfast Storm. We can see Bunga playing to defend, but Yuak and BBXN in the river now. They can see it's happening. Will a fight start? There's the charge onto Yuak. There's the Solar Eclipse, the Solar Flare, rather, down onto Javuv, and now the fight has truly started. Yuak gets blown up by Limsey. Saber Avalon jumping forward, looking for someone, anybody, but the Aatrox is dead. Only frontline you have left is this Leona and Muffin. Can you find the angle? No Solar Flare in sight.
Belfast are out of ultimates. Pyroclasm and Moonlit Vigil still up for DMG. They're looking for angles back in, trying to find the line where they can get onto Belfast's back.
18 seconds on your act. TP is up and available. Javu, I think should start up the dragon. This would be their soul, making fights that much harder. Limsey playing to keep out Meow, looking for a way into this pit to steal. The flash is up and available, but there's no vision. It's going low. 2,500 health now as the spike comes through. Javuv. The arrow lands onto Meow as well.
Not quite enough damage. No unleashed power. You finish off the jungle. The objective will be enough for Belfast as they fade away into the shadows. Get their recall off. The gold's still so even at this stage. EMG just doing a little better in the economy game. Looking at that 50 CS lead in top especially. Contributing to this. 1,000 gold there. 1,000 gold in the jungle. 600 over AD carry. Contributing to DMG holding on. Move towards a late game where this Karma should become a railgun. Should embody what you could argue the balanced team left on the table. Still not quite at that second item. Really slowed down on the economy. It's letting Belfast continue to run riot. Be a product of these crystal arrows to the sides. Have slowed down in the last few minutes.
Baron.
Interesting to see DMG walk in here. Chemtech Soul offering a bunch of extra tankiness. And
lands onto BBXN. The cleanse comes through a little bit too early, but it's fine. The root goes down to Saber Avalon. The charge has landed. The flash comes through. Will face tank that, but now BBXN has been jumped on by Javuv. And Limsey has killed one, and another is dead. That's 3 very quick kills. To the side of Belfast, Storm, Meow trying to run the hills. There's so much damage coming out of this Brown, but it's not enough. Beautifully played, beautifully called from Bunga, Javuv, and Limsey.
Split over the 5 members. Belfast very happy with that. The flashes forwards to follow the charge, recognizing they were going so deep on DMG's backline, and the committal there really what allows them to go further. Mior trying to get in here.
God. Dead.
The skills split between the Belfast frontliners. The Baron going down. Belfast moved to a more convincing gold lead. 5,000 now. 9 kills over their opponents. With the Elder Dragon coming up within this buff's window. They're likely going to push for a finish there. They should have most of their tools back. They'll only be missing flashes from their divers. We'll have to see if they make the most of BB's cleanse being missing.
One fight, and it's a 5,000 gold lead. Arrow lands on the BB again!
Oh my!
And now just dies. TM will take that kill for themselves, and Limsey TPing into the mid lane. They're looking to end the base. This Aphelios, one of the strongest members for this team, is just dead in the water.
I think forgetting that he's not seen, like BB's been spared by choice of his summoner spell, a bunch of the attention from the Ash Arrows this game. And now that his cleanse is down, Belfast continue forwards. They'll push in to the base.
Timber does not miss these arrows, and now the stun landing onto Meow, and now Whack going in, looking good. Javuv knocked up there. Grand challenge, Mr. Bunga. Very low. Will die to Meow, and Limsey is burning as well. Whack looking forward, but Timber lands again! Another arrow on Javuv will take the Whack down. They have to run with their tail between their legs. They've taken enough pressure.
It is definitely a win, breaking the inhibitor line with your first Baron of the game. Not a bad job at all. 1 minute 30 still on this Elder Dragon spawn, which is the focus now. Nothing else across the map of a huge concern. With plenty of time to get out there, the IMR and Javuv can drop down some vision, control wards in the inventories of 3 members of Belfast. They should feel in control here. They should have a nice vision line maintained. You can see they've got the approach warded. They have a pink ward in the pit.
Arrow
Enough.
flying
Oh,
to Dwill. It lands.
Dwill.
He
Oh,
stopped
buddy.
moving.
Oh, that's not allowed.
0, 7, and 4 on this Karma this game. Dwill is having a nightmare of a game. Timur has a laser pointer directed straight between the eyes of this Karma.
Those have been some heat-seeking arrows, haven't they? Absolutely locked on to the target.
Now, it's yet another 4-man line from DMG UK. Will this be their time? Will this be their chance? The Infinity Edge now completed for BBXN.
It's a bunch of damage. Will he get to use it? Is the question. Coming up on 300 CS, that cull nearly done. Maybe able to get one more component through. Probably not. There's 10 seconds left on this Elder. The members of Belfast aren't hungry and waiting in the pit. Instead, it looks like they're going to go for one more fight. They don't want to take a 5v5 here.
And the arrow lands onto BB Muffin. And there's so much damage to come through. Javuv will take that kill, and the Grand Challenge will stop Meow's damage in its tracks. And there's the charge onto Meow. 2 are very quickly dead. Enough damage coming out of BBXN as this Elder is now in the sights of Belfast Storm. They are leaving nothing to chance. They are just saying, we're taking the Elder, we're killing you one more time, and your base will be our prize.
All DMG's base belongs to Belfast, it seems. This was, I really just had a nostalgic moment where I just thought, oh, this is the Oops All Line CLG EU comp from late Season 2, early Season 3. Where it was just possible to, you hit a Lux bind at the time, and you get Ezreal ult, you get Lux ult, you get Nocturne ult over the top, and one person just isn't allowed to step out, isn't allowed to check. I think DMG, not quite on the page where they've moved around in such a way, the Ashe hasn't, and these lines hasn't absolutely decimated. The strongest pick on the patch, this Karma, so powerful, has not been able to walk up, deal damage, to be alone farming in a side lane. Another arrow goes wide. I think we're allowing TIMR that one. Won't quite claim BB's cleanse ahead of this final fight as Belfast look to strike home, look to get DMG sent packing.
See what happens. Tian jumping forward. Solar Flare doesn't land onto anybody meaningful. Now is the True Shot Barrage, goes a little bit wide, but we said earlier, Tian looking to prove a point, and it seems the entirety of Belfast Storm at his back. They are here to dominate DMG UK. Stun doesn't quite land onto BBXN, waiting for anything to land to start this fight. A lot of damage onto BB Muffin now. Just waiting for some of this poke to stick. And there's the Moonlight Vigil. Calibrum does a massive number to Timur's health. And the arrow comes in, doesn't land. And there's the charge onto Yuak, and now the fight.
Still doesn't start. Still just clipping the edges. Plenty of ways to apply the Elder for Belfast here, but they haven't found a way to get their minions in under attack convincingly.
Meow on to Tian. Damage isn't quite there. Meow is going to be the first to die. And now Yuak jumping into the back. It's a double kill. Tian. And that might just be the game. Over eager from Meow.
I think they tried to find a line where members of Belfast were splitting up on their approach to Baron. Haven't quite found it there. A little bit of desperation. Would have preferred them to maybe farm away some minion waves. Give the Baron over to Belfast. With only one inhibitor down, it's unlikely you see many minion waves come together unless there is exceptional macro and a little bit of luck through, and it would still consume the Elder Dragon buff. It would still run down the Baron, run down the clock, let DMG finish up maybe another few more components. Instead, a little too early. Belfast all the same will get the Baron. See if DMG can clear another wave, can just about hold on.
One final fight is all it's going to take. The gold lead now 12,000 in favor of Belfast Storm. Most of that on the carries. Tian, Limsey, so strong at this point in the game. BBXN sitting on 3 items has hit their power spike. Same with Meow, but Will not quite been able to pick up more than the Malignant Shadow Flame combo.
And still deal a whole bunch of damage. somehow I just wish we'd seen a little more from this Karma. I think the victim of so much of Belfast's attention, be it side lane, be it preventing that full fight, where the Karma should shine through, should be able to manage the diving pair. I think also the Kled may be a bit more of an issue
Arrow?
than I'd expected. The arrow?
Missed.
Just to the side. I didn't even see that one. Teemo is so sneaky.
I saw the cast, and now Meow. I saw the thing go on cooldown. It's almost back up, and Meow is dead again.
Zhonya's not enough to survive.
As the
Charge
charge.
through. All 5 members of Belfast grouped up here, so they can do a bit of a
Stun.
tour. They can take out as much infrastructure as
Okay,
possible.
Limsey. Very, very dangerous position, but Yoak going forward now. The stopwatch will keep him safe for now, and again, Tien picking up another Javuv doing what they can. BB Muffin is next on the list. It's a double kill for Tien, now looking to break the rest of DMG. Will doing everything they can, but the base is already dead. Belfast Storm with a beautiful statement against DMG.
It addressed a lot of the criticisms I had of Belfast at their first game, where it was like, oh, this is unorganized. Limsey looks like he's trying to do it all on his own. This isn't the way like the draft works out, or the way the early game should have progressed forwards. And instead, a bit more calm, a bit more controlled. They identified a core weakness in a strong pick out from their opponents. It just didn't quite land for DMG. They didn't punch back. They just, oh, calm is strong. Let's lock it in. Didn't deal with the Kled's ability to come forwards and pair with the Xin Zhao. Didn't address the Ash Arrow. It was enough for Belfast Storm to drag it over the line.
Absolutely was. And that brings us to the end of today's, or well, rather Thursday's games. It's not today's, but let's just do a very, very quick recap, shall we? Game number 1, we saw Paragon up against Lions Creed. And while Paragon had a very good early game, Lions Creed just that little bit closer together in terms of how they play the mid to late, and will take the win away there. Venom Crest versus Verzik. Little bit of a similar story. Bartoldi managed to get some pressure in the early game for Venom Crest. Verzik were able to bite back and gain themselves a lead, but Venom Crest's ability to play quick, snappy fights as a team ultimately spelled the end for the Devils. Game number 3, Nuclear Vikings versus Ruddy. Nuclear Vikings were looking very, very good, but just 2 bad fights allowed Ruddy the chance to shine. The quadra kill from a Karma, of all things. Finally, Belfast Storm versus DMG. What a game we have just witnessed. I mean, a beautiful play coming through from Belfast Storm.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful play.
Yeah, especially TIMR. I think the Ash did a lot of heavy lifting there. Fantastic gameplay. Nice to see them come together. And definitely, I think the biggest change, the biggest delta from day one in their performance, coming together, looking more comfortable together as teammates, which is great to see. And happy to sort of see similar from Ruddy, where they've sort of tightened it up a bit. Got a little bit more coherent. That's great to see early in the split. Keep it going, and I expect, we were sort of calling Ruddy as top dogs. I think we're starting to see the second runners of Nuclear Vikings and Venom Crest line up nicely there.
It'll be interesting to see, but that does indeed finish our games out for today. Thank you, Temporal, for joining me. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always.
It's been a Sunday morning, so thank you for watching your Sunday cartoons, even if it is Monday afternoon for you. Be kind, rewind, and we'll see you next time.